Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick update because we've had some interesting developments on the chart, and also any day pretty much we're expecting the decision on the Bitcoin ETF that everyone is pretty much expecting right now. In general, the sentiment is that we're gonna get an approval, but as you can see here, yesterday we had a day of kind of a fake news, I would say, and people thought that the SEC is gonna delay again, although they have, I think, a legal requirement to like say this in the time frame they have already set, which sparked a lot of speculation on Twitter that this could be potentially a denial in progress or something like this. And since the market was very thin and there wasn't that much volume around this period, there were a lot of liquidations happening on that day, and you can see even Bitcoin wicked down to 40k, and that's why I've been quite hesitant to trade in the past several days and the first few days of this year. It's been a lot of ups and downs emotionally and sentiment wise. I think there's still quite a lot of positives. We almost broke out here. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but in general you can see that it's a tricky environment. A lot of people, even friends of mine that are experienced traders, got liquidated on this week. Not many people were expecting it, so just be aware. I wanted to point out this risk. And actually, before we go through the charts and what I think about it, I wanted to give you a quick update on my portfolio, and I'm talking more about my boomer crypto, as I call it, portfolio. I have a separate video on the ordinal site if you want to watch it. But on the crypto portfolio, I'm currently around 30% in cash. I have 50% of the portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then I have the majority of it, of the rest I have in different altcoins. Not all of them are performing great, but that's currently my allocation. What I'm looking to do is potentially, if we get an approval and if we get a pump, I am willing to sell into the pump, but honestly, we don't know how this will play out. And if we have a denial or something that sparks fear on the market, I still need to find the balance between having enough cash to deploy, which I think 30% is good, but maybe I want to have a bit more. I'm still debating on this. I still have other capital that I can deploy outside of my active crypto portfolio. But yeah, maybe I will take some more profit here and there from older positions, or close some of my out positions that are not moving that much, in order to have some capital and help me sleep at night if we get a really bad outcome of the ETF. So let's get into the charts. Enough of me rambling. When situation is like this, what I like to do is just go back to the charts and look at the data. And on the daily here, you'll see that I've marked out this kind of a consolidation area, this range, if you want to say, and we had a breakout and then we failed to break it. And then pretty much even with the liquidation event, we retested the bottom of this range. And now we're still mid-ranging here. So technically wise, I don't think we have any clear sign of what's going to happen. Yes, this might be considered right here a bearish fail to break. But just keep in mind, if we zoom out on the weekly, you'll see that we have a major resistance level above. I've marked this for a while now, and I do believe if we break this, we could see even higher prices. But for now, this for me is still a key area with a lot of resistance overhead, especially after such a big move that we already had at the end of the year. And as you can see on the last few weeks, price has been consolidating again around this area. So the outcomes that I'm looking into right here for the ETF, because this is a really news-driven event, what we could see is something like this. So the bullish case is we get maybe a bit more chop in the coming days, and then we get positive news, and we get a massive run to maybe 50, maybe 60k, who knows, and then potentially, we have a sell the news or something, and we stabilize somewhere in this area. I could definitely see this happening on a positive outcome. Everybody gets overexcited, exuberant, everything flies for a week or so, and then maybe we consolidate. I can also see, although I think this is relatively low likelihood, but if there's something like, even if we get an approval or something that is not clear, that if we get a denial, I still think we might chop around this area. So the other option is that, let's say this is the mid-range scenario here. After such a move, you might think that the ETF is already priced in, and I don't think that's wrong to think. But as we've had this consolidation here in the last several weeks, maybe price is recharging, maybe we'll get another leg on approval. But if this is not the case, I do see also consolidation happening and potentially just chopping around here for months while we get a resolution. But I do think that there will be a lot of speculation, and I do think that this orange line here is a bit less likely to play out. But it will make it easier actually if this plays out, because then you have time to react, because you see something on the chart. But if we get approval or speculation and you just get the pump, similar like what we had here around 28K, I think, it will be hard to play. And that's why I'm still keeping most of my crypto exposure. I took some profit, but I still keep, as I said, quite a lot of my crypto exposure. I think this could play out on an approval, and then we get higher prices. But after the correction, it will again make it a little bit easier to read the market and potentially get positioned for the next leg, whatever it takes us. And then obviously I don't completely refuse the option that we totally nuke. Like, if we get something negative, maybe it's not straight up denial, but something negative or a denial here, I do think that we can easily get to these levels. 30, 32, 35K, hopefully, if it's not that bad. But if we get a straight up denial, I think we nuke really hard below 30K. Where would this dip end? I don't know, but I know that if we get anything below 30, I will probably be going in heavier, because I think the bounce here would be good. And I think what could happen after that, we could have months and months and months of consolidation, because remember, this is a hype cycle, and it's a news driven event. It's a major news, but we had pretty good price action here even without an ETF. So with other stuff happening and with the halving narrative and so on, I think even if we don't get an ETF, I think at some point we'll get a bull run, but it will take a lot longer and it will be a lot more painful than if we get an ETF and we have things kind of easier to read on the market. So it's a tricky spot. It could go either way in my opinion, although I'm giving a lot more weight to something positive to come out. And that's why I haven't really traded that much actively, and I've missed honestly quite a bit of opportunities when it comes to shorter term trading on outs, because I'm still holding my out positions like GMX, which has done well, Matic, Magic, all of these moved. But then since I've been too distracted with JPEGs on the ordinal side and with the price action here around the ETF, and as I said, a bit hesitant, I missed moves like Aarbitrum. Just look at this. And I was looking at this at around $1. It was shifting structure here. I didn't take a trade. And then you can see what happened. We were having quite a bit of move. Optimism, same story as the narrative shifted to Ethereum. These have really kicked it out of the park, while Ethereum has not done much at all, actually. It's at the same area. Good to see that also it's kind of consolidating similar to Bitcoin, and it's kind of making it easy if we don't get like a cascade of selling. If this breaks, in my opinion, this range here, we'll see more downside, and you can use this as a stop loss for some spot profit taking or whatever. But yeah, there were major movers. Like, what else did I see today? Meme is moving, but again, this crashed also quite a bit hard, so I wouldn't count this as a big move. But there are a bunch of other tokens that are on the move. Beam is another one I missed. It got into my zone, so here around 0.15 I was ready to buy some, but then the liquidation happened. I wasn't ready to pull the trigger here, and honestly I totally forgot that I wanted to buy some at these levels. I did check the charts yesterday, and now it's mooning like 20%. It's showing a lot of strength, but honestly on a pullback I might get some exposure here long term, And even if we get negative news, and even if this crashes another 50% from somewhere around here, I'm fine. You know, I think at $1 billion valuation, this project is still good. So I might start positioning myself. And there are a lot of, I missed also another one, big one that I wanted to show you guys. It's Say. I did the research on this one. I was talking about it somewhere around here, around 30 cents. Never pulled the trigger. Again, I was like, okay, I want to wait for the ETF stuff to resolve and so on. This didn't really wait. it's just, you know, 160% missed. And we've had quite a lot of these in the past several days. And now also I'm looking into some smaller caps that were on my list for a while. Stather is a liquid staking thing that is starting to move. I like this. There's their total value locked is pretty much flying really high right now on Ethereum. They've been doing well, so I do want to acquire some of this. Shido is a old project that pretty much I've talked about this extensively. I should have added here on the dip. I didn't, but again, maybe potentially in the future. So these are little market cap coins that I'm following. Lido also moved a bit from the big boys. Again, similar setup, all-time high breakout. I was looking at this around 260. So yeah, a lot of opportunities missed, but then again, I'm a bit hesitant still to pull the trigger, go heavy on anything. Oh, look at Aptos moving today also. Yeah, this had a breakout here, perfect retest, and then it just flew. And today is a big day, 34% already up from the breakout. So yeah, there's a lot of like this. You know, I'm not too sad because I've made good money this last year actually. But again, I wasn't also perfectly tuned in during the holidays to take advantage of this opportunity. So I would definitely sit out and wait and see what's going to happen with the ETF. And then we're going to go from there. I'm risking obviously missing the first move, but also I don't want to be risking too much with the potential that we get something funky and, you know, we get drops of 10+% on a day if we get negative outcomes. That's everything for this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.